Hello, this is Greg from SharePoint Maven, and in this tutorial, I will show you step by step how to create a knowledge base in SharePoint Online. Now, before I proceed, obviously this video will include step-by-step instructions, but in the description, I will also include a URL to my article, to my blog, where I pretty much detailed step-by-step as well with images and essentially pretty detailed instructions. Everything I'm about to show you in this tutorial as well. So if you would rather maybe follow the instructions on my blog with images, you can do that, or obviously you can follow this video as well. Now, just to kind of set the scope, I guess, the tone of this particular tutorial, when it comes to the subject of knowledge base, knowledge base or wiki means different things to, different, people and different organizations. There are many different ways to capture knowledge within the organization. And there are also many different, I guess, well, not many, but a few options available in SharePoint Online. So in some cases, depending on the, I guess, amount of the content, right? There are different, kind of use cases. There are different options you might utilize for capturing that knowledge. For example, right? In some cases, I've seen some organizations utilizing the list functionality. All right. So if you are trying to capture some knowledge and it's not a significant amount of information, there is a way to capture the knowledge through by creating custom lists, with metadata and capturing some sort of knowledge that way. And by the way, I have some of these examples. I have instructions on how to do some of these examples already on my YouTube channel. If you capture your your knowledge and kind of company knowledge and expertise sometimes already exists in all these different documents. Then, in many cases, a document library with metadata might be an appropriate solution. All right, so essentially a document library that's all searchable because it's all in SharePoint, but at the same time, you can also dress it up, if you will, and add some additional, metadata, columns so that the users can easily, find the appropriate, maybe type of document based on some additional information based on some metadata characteristic or property. And I do have some clients who utilize this method. Once again, this method is appropriate when you already have a lot of knowledge, a lot of content captured in some sort of, documents, Word, PDFs, Excels, and so on. But by far the most popular method, I guess, and essentially something I will explain to you in this tutorial is how to create a knowledge base or wiki based on pages functionality that we have available in SharePoint. So the idea here, just to kind of show you, is to build almost like Wikipedia style knowledge base where the knowledge in this case is captured not in lists, not in some PDF documents. Essentially, the knowledge is captured within the SharePoint pages. And what I'm about to show you is how to create such a knowledge base, step by step. We'll start with the basics, from making sure we created the proper type of site, template. And I will also show you how to create pages, how to create, page templates, and how to edit them. So I'll cover all of this in this particular tutorial. But once again, what I'm about to describe is how to rely on SharePoint Pages functionality within SharePoint Online to capture, the knowledge and create the knowledge base. So the first decision we have to make is whether to kind of use an existing site or create a new site. And just to give you a use case, let's say you have your department site, right? And let's pretend it's a human resources department. And you obviously already have certain documents in here and links and maybe pages, news and announcements and so on. you might want to obviously create the knowledge base right on your site. And in some cases, this might be a viable option. But I always recommend creating a totally separate site altogether for the enterprise-wide knowledge base. All right, that's the use case here. If we're creating an enterprise-wide knowledge base, you're almost always better off creating a totally separate site. Let me explain to you why, and this will become apparent a little bit later when, the very end, once we build the site, and I'll show you how search works. But when your users search your knowledge base, you probably don't want to mix up the content from your of your site with that of the knowledge base, right? You probably want them to search just the knowledge base articles. Just to give you an example, so once again, let's say I'm searching this particular site, and you see how it gives me all these different results. Maybe I want the results to be just the pages, just this wiki pages, not everything else that's on my site, like documents or some other stuff, right? So that's why, in my opinion, again, it's super important if you care about the nice and clean, and friendly search experience for your employees. I do recommend that you create a totally separate site. So I guess we made a decision here, and I will proceed under the assumption that we are creating a totally separate site for our knowledge base. All right. Since now we have to create a site, the next big decision we have to make is what kind of site template we are going to choose. Now, there are two main site templates. You probably already learned this by watching my videos and following my blog. We have two main site templates in SharePoint when you create a new site, right? We have what's called a communication site and a team site. I'll briefly describe both to you. And because ironically, for this particular use case, for the knowledge base, we're not going to use any of them. All right, we're actually going to use a totally different template. But let me first briefly explain to you the difference. A communication site is essentially what you see right now on the screen. All right, a communication site is this visually appealing, nice looking site, white screen, no left-hand side navigation. All right, it's a type of site you use for one-way communication. Now, in some cases, this might actually be a good candidate for the knowledge base. All right, this is once again is a pretty viable, kind of option. So this, if you like this particular look and feel, you might want to proceed with the communication site template. All right. We also have a team site template over here, and a team site. Let me show you an example of that. A team site is this right here. It does have left-hand side navigation. And these team sites, they are the sites that are connected to Microsoft 365 groups and teams. All right. So it's not just a site that you are getting when you create a team site. You can connect a team to it. You can connect Planner. You get a group calendar and Outlook and so on. So you get more than just essentially just a site. Now, what's interesting is that for the knowledge base, typically many of my clients prefer a site that does have left-hand side navigation. So that's why instead of communication site, a team site seems like a logical option here. However, super important to understand is that you do not want to proceed with this team site that I just showed you. Why? Because those team sites, they are based on this Microsoft 365 group, right? I just told you that when you create this team site, you get more than just a site. You get a planner, you get Teams, you get group calendar in Outlook, and you get essentially Microsoft 365 group that manages the membership. And this implies and means that essentially you will always have to add members to the site so they have access to your site. In addition, when you're creating a knowledge base, you just want a knowledge base with pages. You don't want you don't need Teams, you don't need Planner, right? We're not doing any of this collaboration stuff here. We're literally just creating a knowledge base with articles, all right? So the bottom line is you are not supposed to, if you do like the theme side, that left-hand side navigation, none of these options will work. Again, communication side does not have a left-hand side navigation. This one does, but, again, we don't need to create all this other stuff we don't need. So what we will need to do, we will need to create a third type of site that is essentially a theme site. It will look like this, but it's not going to have all of this Microsoft 365 group overhead. All right. And let me show you how to create that. Now, in order to create that type of site, you do need to have SharePoint admin role. So, typically within the organization, right, if you navigate to your SharePoint start page and you click create a site button, again, you end up with those, two templates I just told you about. Again, you don't want to use any of those. Instead, you would need to navigate to the SharePoint Admin Center. Now, in case if you don't have permissions, you don't have SharePoint admin role, right? I assume IT will have access to that only. You would need to ask IT to create that type of site for you. But here are the steps in case you want to share those with your IT folks. So you navigate to the SharePoint Admin Center. And this is where, of course, all the sites reside that users create. All right, this all the sites that exist in the tenant, and your IT has access to this create button. And again, those two main templates that we have, we don't want any of them. Instead, you click on Browse More Sites. And over here in the upper left-hand corner, it shows you a list of other templates you can, utilize. And the first one by default is also called a theme site. It's kind of misleading because, unfortunately, it's the same name as for the other, the regular theme site with a group. But if you read the fine print over here, it does not create a Microsoft 365 group. So essentially, you get a nice looking theme site with left-hand side navigation, but no group attached. You see no group, no Outlook inbox, planner. All right. So yeah, you just get a regular site. So let's give it a name. And I'm going to just give it a name, whatever you want it to be. All right. It has to be unique, of course. All right, and typically you would put your name in here, right, or your IT person would make you the admin of the site. You can only specify one here when you create the site, but you can add additional ones later. And click next, and let's just accept default settings, and the site should now be created. Let's give it a few seconds. So here it is. The site got created. It's now in the list. And if I click on this URL, this is it. This is what it looks like. And yeah, essentially, it's like a theme site. All right, but it doesn't have all of this Microsoft 365 group overhead, right? It's just a regular, theme site with left-hand side navigation, and that's pretty much it. So obviously by default, right, it just creates it based on this given, template. We'll clean it up later. What I want to show you now, and I guess in the following few steps, is how to create a knowledge base, page, and then how to create a page template out of it. All right, and that's the whole idea behind the knowledge base, right? Because you do want to create all these different, I guess, articles. And you do want to, your users maybe to be consistent, right? And everything to be consistent. So all the articles kind of look the same in terms of the layout. So I'm about to show it to you in this step and I guess the following few steps. So the first will be how we create a new page, and then I'll show you how to convert it into the page template. So to create a new page, you just click New Page. And there are a few, I guess, templates available for us. Let's start with the blank one. We want to create our own look and feel. And what we're building right now is what a potential knowledge base page article will look like. And then we will convert it into the template. All right, so we are going to give it a name. We can, of course, right, for now, we're just literally creating a template, just like that. And I want, you can tweak the image if you wish. Let's just proceed with, one of the, I guess, stock images that we have here. Doesn't really matter. All right, just like that. And or you can obviously, right, if you don't want any images, you can go for plain option or different options that we have here. Doesn't really matter. All right. And then you know what? So at this point, I'm building the look and feel of our knowledge base article, and um, let's keep it simple. For now, I just want to give maybe this a two-column layout, just like that. And then maybe here we want to add the image, some sort of image maybe, all right, that users maybe will change as necessary, all right? So yeah, let's proceed with this cute image over here, just like that. And then, yeah, let's delete this one, or maybe we give it some, title over here. And then here, I want users to populate the actual content, and maybe we want to give them some guidelines here in this particular area. So I'm going to add a text widget over here, and article text goes here. And you know what? I want everyone to, maybe stick to a certain, format and, color and all that stuff. Here we go. And we can add maybe some other sections in here, or you know what, maybe we will add let's do this. Let's be a little bit creative here. Maybe for this particular, for each and every knowledge base article, I want users to know who to essentially contact. So just like that, and I'm going to move it over here. And yeah, you know what? Let's get rid of this. All right, perfect. All right, so you know what? This is good enough. All right, of course, you can customize it as you wish. Maybe you have different sections, layouts, images, obviously, right? But I built the look and feel that I want for my, for my knowledge base article. All right, and here it is. Here is how it will look like, just to show you. And essentially at this point, we publish it. All right, now, but this is not, right, the template just yet. What we did so far, we just built a sample article, all right? The next step is to convert it into the, the template. Why? Because when I want want my users to go here and create a new page, I want them to base it off my template, all right, not start from scratch. So let's take care of the template. Now, let me first show you what happened when I created this new article. If you click on the site contents over here, by the way, if you don't see site contents on your site, no worries, just click gear icon, site contents over here, and navigate to the Site Pages library. Site Pages library is a special library for pages. All right, you know how when you create a site and you have a library called Documents, every single site has one. This is a library where you would store your, documents like, Word, PDFs, and so on. Site Pages library is a special library for pages. That's where all the pages will reside. So as you create all these different articles for the knowledge base, they are all going to end up in here in the Site Pages library. So later, we will actually come back later in here because I want to show you a few additional tricks at the end of this tutorial. But essentially, yeah, as you create all these different articles, you can manage them over here. So this is the article we created. And now I want to convert it into the template. How do we convert it into the template? You click the promote button over here. And one of the options is save as page template. And this is where we actually converting this into the template. It even tells you right here, in green, background, this is a page template that we are, saving on our site now. So let's create a name for it. So company knowledge base template. All right, just like that. That will be the name of the template that we're creating. And here we go, just like that. All right. And you know what? We don't need this. All right. So we want it uniform for everyone. But everything else stays. And you know how in the upper right-hand corner you typically have publish, write a page? Well, we're not publishing this. We're creating a page template. So click Save Page Template button. And now the template has been saved. All right, it's been saved to our site. And let me show you in a second, once it finishes, where the template has been saved. So after you save a page template, you will get a confirmation, message. But let me show you what happened behind the scenes. Once again, we navigate to Site Contents, or gear icon, Site Contents. If you don't have that link, Site Pages. All right, and look at this. We now got a folder called Templates. And you click, and inside is our template that we just created, just like that. You see. Now, so all the templates, by the way, you can have multiple templates, right? Maybe you have different types of articles, right? For different purposes, different objectives, you can create multiple templates. All of the templates you create, if you follow the same steps I just showed you, they will always be saved in the templates, folder in here, all right? Now, before we go and create new, essentially our pages, right, I want to show you another trick. So let's say now that we have a template, we can pretty much create all these articles that we want. And typically you would click New Page. But look, where is my template? All right. By default, it forces me to choose one of the Microsoft ones. In order to choose the template, you need to click Saved on the site, and here's the template we just created. But you know what? Because the whole purpose of this site is the knowledge base, I don't want my users to essentially do all these extra steps. So what you can do is this. Let me show you. It's pretty neat. You can actually click three dots and say Set Default Selection. And essentially what we are telling SharePoint right now, this template will be the default one when users create a new page. So we click OK. And when you cancel out of here. So let me now show you what the experience is. Let me refresh just in case. All right. New. So I'm creating a new page right now. And look what happened. It automatically jumps and forces me to use this template, all right? So I could still go with one of the blank ones or whatever, Microsoft ones, but here we go. It automatically forces me to use this template, so it gives me a bit of preview. And you know what? I'm going to actually, use that, and I'm going to create a new page. And look at this. Essentially, all the modules that we added have stuck in here as part of the template, and now I can populate my article. So what I'm going to do now, really quick, I'm going to create a few articles so we have something to play with. All right, how to change password. That's the name of the article, and here we want to say contact, or change it in a Microsoft 365 account tab. I mean, typically, right, you would provide all these different, instructions in here, maybe even add some images and so on. Let's pretend we did this. So I'm going to, publish this article. I'm going to create another one. All right. And so we have something to play with. So once again, I create a new one. Once again, I'm forced to use this template. That's great. All right. And then how to submit a vacation request. All right. Perfect. And then fill out this form. You know what? I'm actually going to get a little fancy here. I'll show you a nice little trick. So I created a form, in Microsoft Forms for essentially vacation requests. So I'm going to grab this form and grab this URL. All right, and I'm going to embed this particular form into my article. Let me just find it in my, here we go. All right, I'm going to embed it in here. And there is a nice little web part called Microsoft Forms. So you can actually embed a form right in here. So it's a super convenient user experience, all right, for my employees. I'm not sure why it's giving me this message right here. Here we go. And yeah, essentially, this is what the article will be. If people search for, how to submit vacation request, they get a response and they can actually submit it right from within the form, right from within the page. So super useful. So I'm going to publish it just like that. So now I have a few articles, all right, created. Let me just show you. If we go to the site pages library or site content, site pages, same thing. Look at this. For each and every obviously page that you post, you do create. It does create a page within the site pages library. So in case if we need to tweak it or access it, they're waiting for us over here within the site pages library. So what I want to show you now in this next step is how to adjust the look and feel of this page. Now, this is where, right, it's all about how you want it to be. It's all about your creativity and how you want the content to be shown and rendered to the users. Now, look, and this is something, a quick trick I will show you at the end of this tutorial, where I will show you how to tweak the search experience. The whole idea of remember creating a separate site for the knowledge base was so that everything would be searchable from within the search box, right? So if somebody types in a vacation or how to change password in here or whatever, right? It will find the articles that we have published, all right? Likewise with navigation, I will show you how to tweak the navigation, but um, the main idea behind the separate site for the knowledge base again was this particular search box. So we only get the results that we want users to see, and nothing else. Now, with that being said, you might want to obviously make it pretty, right? And maybe, show the last few articles that you published on the homepage, or maybe point out, the most important ones right here on the screen. I'll just, tweak it briefly, but again, this is where it all depends on you and, how you want your homepage to look like. Let me clean it up a little bit. I'm going to maybe do this. We don't want the library. I do want the quick links. And you know what? I also want the people widget. All right, so I want everyone to know who to contact, if they need assistance with the knowledge base. And this is where I will type in my name, just like that. And then, you know what? Let's add some color. We can proceed with one of those new, background options that we now have. All right. And you know what I'm going to do here for the quick links? I'm going to delete these default links. I'm going to add, just to show you, just click Add Links. And I'm going to add links to some of these articles that I created. All right. They will appear over here under Recent, but you can also just paste the URL to a given article if you want. But you know what? Let's take a shortcut, and I'm going to add a link to this one. And I'm going to add a link to this one, all right? And just, let's customize it a little bit, all right? I'm going to, yeah, everyone is thinking about vacations, I hope. So here we go. And then for this one, let's maybe, you can upload your own custom image, and yeah, you can whatever, proceed with whatever. Let's just whatever do this one. Doesn't matter. All right, here we go. All right, and we can of course change the style of this, icons and everything, the buttons, whatever you want them to be. You know what? This is good enough. All right. Again, in your particular case, you might want something else. Maybe you want to create links, to the top 10, from different categories or something. Again, it's all up to you. It's all up to you. I think the main focus of the knowledge base is the fact that the users would be able to utilize the search box and find the articles, based on the keywords, which I will demonstrate how it works a little bit later in this video. But for now, just wanted to show you how to adjust the look and feel of your homepage. Now, the next thing I want to show you is how to adjust this left-hand side navigation. And to be honest, that's one of the major reasons why we went with this team site option. Remember, we were also possibly discussing the communication side, but communication side does not have the left-hand side navigation. Team site does. And one of the reasons it's popular, so first of all, right, it kind of gives you a nice way of linking to your articles that you create. I also noticed this option to be popular among my clients who are migrating from Confluence because on Confluence apparently you have this left-hand side navigation as well. So it's kind of a very familiar, I guess, user interface. But no matter what the reason is, let me show you how to actually build navigation over here on the left-hand side and how to make it user-friendly. So you just click the edit button, all right, and let's remove some of this other stuff. We don't want people, right? We don't want, it's all about knowledge base, so we want to add, remove all those links. You know what, I'm going to make it capital letters over here. And this is where maybe you want to organize your articles by some sort of category. So let's say we have some articles related to IT and some articles related to HR. And we want kind of almost like a drop down. So let me show you how to do that. So you click the plus sign. It's kind of hidden, by the way. All right, you have to hover over right underneath plus sign. And we are creating a label for now. And we say HR articles. All right, or whatever you want to call it. All right, just like that. All right, and I also want to create IT ones. All right, so IT articles, just like that. So these are not clickable labels, but what I want to see underneath are all the appropriate articles. Now it's a manual step. All right, they're not going to magically appear over here. Unfortunately, you have to add them manually. Let me just copy the link. So this was an HR one. All right, I'm going to copy that link and I'm going to paste it in here. And you give it a name. All right. So I edited this, but you see, if I publish it now, this is how it appears. You see, it's not, it grays out the labels, right? These are not clickable links, but it kind of, right? It's not, it's not what I wanted. So you click edit. What you want to do is this, 3 dots, make a sublink. You see, all right. And what happens? Let me just show you. It actually creates this nice accordion style drop down. So if you have like 5, 6 categories, you can list them all here, and you click on the drop down and you see them underneath. All right. So let me add this one as well. So this one belongs to IT. I'm going to once again add it in here, and we'll call it change password. All right, just like that, and click OK, and make sublink again, and click Save. And look at this. Now I have a really nice user experience. All right, as users navigate, they can obviously search. They can obviously click all these links, and they can also access all of those other pages by clicking on those drop downs. Now, let me show you one more thing. You can actually build up to 2 levels. I just built 1 level of drop down. You can build up to 2 levels. Let me do that. So let's you can add, let's say, link or label, doesn't matter. Let's pretend it's a link, but I'm going to say a label, just like that. All right. You can also do this. You see, so we have one level of drop down. You can actually make it two. You see, just like that. Two levels is the max, by the way. All right. So it will be something like this. You see, just like that. You see, you can actually build up to two levels. So maybe it might be appropriate if you have some ways of organizing content. You have way too many articles, but yeah, you can utilize that trick. So now we pretty much, I mean, this is the core configuration, right? This is the kind of the basic configuration of the knowledge base. And, what I would like to do next is show you a few additional tricks and enhancements, a little bit more advanced, that will help you optimize and make your knowledge base a little bit more user-friendly. Now, before I do that, I actually just want to explain to you again the idea of this knowledge base that we built. So just to summarize it, we have a dedicated site for the knowledge base. And the idea here is that the users navigate here and they can find the articles with three different ways, all right? The first option, of course, is the search, which I will demonstrate in a second. The second option is that you build them nice, links on the main page and kind of help them navigate to various categories and articles. And the third option for them to find the content would be through this, essentially, through this links that we built, for them on the left-hand side navigation. But like I mentioned earlier, the most kind of popular option would be to essentially utilize the search box, and that's the idea, right? So for example, I just type in a keyword and look at this. This is where the content, right? It's all searchable, just like it searches all the, documents and, and list items and everything. All the pages, SharePoint pages are searchable as well. So essentially, it picks up on the content from within the page, on the title, on the text inside of the, your knowledge base article. So the users can also navigate to the, find the article that way as well. All right, so as promised, what I would like to do now is show you a few additional enhancements, actually a total of three. The first one is about adding metadata fields to the site pages library. The second is about creating audience targeting. And the third is about creating a search vertical. All right. So let me explain each of the enhancements and what they're all about and how they might be beneficial to you. So let's start with the metadata. So you know how on a SharePoint site, right? If you are working with documents, you can create metadata columns, right? We can create them on lists, we can create them on document libraries, and those, would provide you additional information about this particular document, and users can easily filter and find stuff. Well, guess what? We can do the same with site pages as well. Let me explain. So again, let's navigate to the site contents, site pages library. Here we go. And of course, this is where all the site pages reside, right? That we created. Here is our template. All right. Now, you might have, obviously, I only have a few articles here, but for your knowledge base, you might have, I don't know, hundreds, maybe thousands of those articles, and it might be just super, hard for you to find the right one. I have no idea which one is IT, which one is HR, and so on, right? So what you can do is create additional columns, additional metadata to this site pages library. All right. And you know what? We can actually create them in this view by default. The view you always get is by author, but you know what? Let's proceed with all pages view. So it's kind of a flat, view, right? Not grouped by anything. And you know what I'm going to do? I probably don't need to see this column. I don't need to see this column. All right. Just doing a bit of cleanup. What I want to do is create some custom columns. Maybe, you know what? For each article, I want to categorize it. Is this an article for IT, or HR, and so on? So add column, choice, right, it's a drop down I want to create. Click yes, and I want to say, let's just say call it category. And I'm going to stick with a few choices here. All right, obviously you list whatever the categories are. All right, and let's make it red, let's make it blue. All right, and of course you add all your, choices. Maybe another one will be legal. All right, whatever the articles are. All right, so just like that. All right, and click Save. All right, so here we go. Here's my category, and I'm going to drag it over here. You know what? Another one, maybe you want to track the dates or authors, right? Let's do maybe who is responsible for that particular article, right? So that's a person column type, and we'll call it author, all right, whatever appropriate in your case, and that's a person or group type of column, right? And let's show the photo. And the third type of column I'm going to create maybe some sort of date, right? Maybe when we need to review date, right? That's a good one. Maybe every once in a while we need to review those articles. And we are going to click date and time type, and we are going to call it review date. And yeah, that's good enough. And all right, perfect. And now, essentially, what you can do, just like you can tag documents, you can tag all those articles. All right, so I'm going to do just that. Let me do that. Here we go. And I'm going to tag it against this particular category. And I'm going to tag it against, let's just make Mary responsible for that. And review date is sometime in the future, probably, right? All right, so just like that. All right, so here we go. Let me do one more. By the way, you can obviously do it in a grid view as well. All right, so it's a little bit, quicker as well. So let me just quickly do that. All right, and yeah, that's good enough. And exit grid view. So the bottom line is you pretty much, populate all of those, pieces of information. Now I modified those, right? You kind of get to see this little icon. So that means that we need to republish our, page just like that. So let's republish it. So it creates a major revision. All right, here we go. All right, and what another thing you might want to do is, pin those columns to the filters pane. So to do that, you just say pin, pin, pin. All right, let me do that. And just like that. And essentially now let me refresh the screen. Let's see how it works. So look at this. Um, as you have hundreds of articles in here, right? And I want to quickly filter, I just care about HR articles, just like that. Or the ones written, by Mary. Or you know what, I want to, just sort it in a particular date. All right. Um, by the way, you can also, format the columns. All right, you can create conditional formatting. I actually recorded some videos on my YouTube channel on how to do that. But you can compare maybe review date, and if it's later than today, maybe it will be highlighted in red or something like that. So you can do all that. But yeah, I mean, essentially, this was this enhancement, this trick. I think for the most part, right, it would be useful to you as the owner of the knowledge base to kind of, right, just manage and being able to, to organize your articles within the site pages library. Let me show you what else you can do with this particular option. You know what? Actually, no. Let me go back to the site pages library. I'm going to do this. So I'm going to create a special view just for HR articles. All right. So I'm going to filter and say, show me just HR articles. All right. I only have one, but let's pretend we have more than that. And I'm going to save this view as HR articles. All right. And I'll make it public, all right? Doesn't matter, all right? Um, so I made this public. Now, what I want to do, you can actually embed that site pages library and filter it right for HR articles right on this page. Let me show you how to do that. So click Edit button and click the plus sign. And you want to embed a document library because site pages is considered the document library. And it's essentially we're embedding the site pages library, but it doesn't look that pretty here, right? What you can do is click the pencil icon, and I can actually say which view I want to embed. All right, just like that. All right. And you need to click apply. Let's actually hide. You see, we don't need all this other stuff. Let's see all and all this header stuff. So let's hide all of that. Click apply. All right. Only when you click apply, you do get to see essentially um, um, the actual web part rendered appropriately with the view on your page. And you can give it a name over here. All right. Perfect. And yeah, we're done. We just need to republish it. And essentially, um, you can actually display. This is another kind of use case, right? So metadata, those tags that we added, not only they will help you, the knowledge base, administrator, to organize your articles, but if you maybe want to create a separate page just for HR articles, right? You can utilize this trick and display essentially the contents of the site pages library in here and filter it accordingly. So hopefully you will find this trick useful. Just another great use case for metadata and how metadata can help us organize the content, site pages in this case, on our site. All right, the second enhancement, the second trick I want to share with you uh, essentially has to deal with audience targeting. And this might be a really popular option. You can utilize this trick on your internet portals. I mean, there are plenty of use cases, but we now have the ability to target content to certain groups of individuals. Let me explain to you what I'm talking about. So again, we have these links here, right? These articles, that we link over here. We have them linked over here in the navigation. By default, those links will be visible to everyone. So by default, essentially, right, if everyone within your organization navigates to this site, they will get to see this links. Well, let's just say that maybe how to submit vacation requests should only be seen by select group of users, right? Maybe let's say you have full-time employees and part-time and or maybe contractors. You only want a specific group to be able to see this link. So you can actually enable audience targeting. We can actually enable audience targeting in multiple places. But for our purpose, for this tutorial, we can target quick links and we can target news, left-hand side navigation. So let me show you how to use both options, how to configure both options. Let me show you how to target links, quick links. So let's click the edit button. All right, I'm not sure why I cannot edit. We should be able to. So let's try it again, just like that. So once you edit the page, you need to click that pencil icon. And of course, this is where we can change the layout of our quick links. You need to enable audience targeting. So by default, it's off. So that means the links will be visible by everyone, but you need to enable it. All right, so that's step number one. And then you navigate to a given link. So and click this little pencil icon in the lower right-hand corner. Essentially, we're just tweaking this one link. And once you enable that audience targeting, at the bottom, you're going to see an extra box. So if you leave it blank, it will be seen by everyone. And you can specify up to 50 audiences here. By audience, you cannot type in the names, all right? It has to be the security groups. You can utilize just regular, Active Directory groups. or Microsoft 365 groups. All right. So let's just say, I mean, this is just one of the names of my security groups. All right. Only this security group should see this link. All right. And you can list up to 50 here. So if I'm not part of this group, I'm not going to see this link. That's the bottom line. And that's pretty much it. Now, it's actually not going to work for me because I am part of the group, but if if I were not, I would just essentially not even see this box over here. All right. So that's how you set navigation audience targeting on quick links. It works the same way on left-hand side navigation. You click the edit button, click on this particular link, I guess. All right. Well, actually, before that, we need to enable it, remember? So first we need to enable it. Then you click on the link. Now, by the way, remember how we build those accordion style, drop downs? If I click on the whole category and, essentially hide that, target some audiences here, all of the sublinks will also be hidden. So maybe I want to hide the entire category. I can do that too. But in our case, I only want to hide this particular article. And look at this once again, audiences to target. Now, in this case, it's only 10. Remember, with quick links, it was 50. Here, it's only 10. And once again, it has to be, security group. So let me just type in the names of some of them. Let's just say, I don't know, we have this some project team members who should see this article and others should not, just like that. All right, up to 10 here. Click OK, click Save, and again, I'm part of the group, so it's a little bit challenging for me to show it to you. But if somebody logs in who is not part of the group, they're not even going to see the link. So super useful capability. One last enhancement, one last trick I want to show you has to do with customizing the search experience. Let me first explain to you what I mean by that. So look, as you create your and populate content on your knowledge base, you will have all sorts of different types of content, right? You obviously could have, majority of it will be pages, but most likely, right, you will also upload some documents and link to those documents and so on. And just to show you, right, so we have the site contents, site pages, that's where our pages will reside. And then of course, you might have a document library with certain documents that maybe you're linking to it and so on. And I think the number one option that majority of your users will use to find that content will be by utilizing the search box. So I'm here at the top center of the page. It says search this site. And you know what? I need to find some information on vacation. And it comes up, with all those different results. I obviously don't have a lot on my site, but let's pretend I have lots of articles, lots of documents, and because the search in SharePoint is so powerful, it does search everywhere and inside of the documents as well. So anytime a particular keyword is mentioned, it will find the content. So in my case, it found obviously the article, the knowledge base article we created, but it also found some other documents as well that mentioned this particular keyword. And it might be a bit overwhelming, right, for the users to kind of maybe see all this other stuff, and they might not even see the article as number one result. So how do we clean it up? How do we make it a little bit more efficient, all right, for our users? Now, just like with Google search, right, we have these tabs up top, and they allow the users to kind of filter through and find appropriate content. So for example, if I want just to limit selection to the files, right, here we go. It only shows me the files, or maybe some news or images that mention this particular keyword. But in our case, I just want to show just the articles. Just the articles. How do I do that? All right, how do we adjust that? Well, let me show you. So the functionality we're going to utilize is something called search verticals. I'm going to quickly show it to you. Now, I actually recorded a pretty detailed video on the search verticals and how to configure it. So feel free to check out, blog posts on my blog, as well as so, that other video I mentioned on my YouTube channel. But let me quickly show you how to set it up in the context of our knowledge base. So actually, let me come back to this and just show to you what we're going to do. Um, so by default, it comes up with this experience. What we're going to do, we're going to alter that experience, and we are going to create a custom tab. It's actually called the search vertical that will only display for us the articles. All right, I'm going to hide all of these other ones, and I'm going to just show the tab with, the search vertical with pages, search results. That's essentially what we're going to do. All right. So let me show you how to do that. Now we can actually control this search verticals at the site level and kind of global level, global SharePoint search level. But obviously in our case, for that latter option, you do need to be a SharePoint admin. But luckily, in order to alter the search results on your site, you just need to be the site owner of your, essentially the owner of your site. All right. You need to be in here. So let's go ahead and alter that experience. Gear icon, site information, we're going behind the scenes, view all site settings, and you're going to see all these different options. The one you want is search insights and configuration. All right. And essentially, the page you're going to see kind of some insights about some statistics and, and the clicks and whatever queries performed and all that stuff. It's a brand new site, so you don't get to see a lot of content here. But the tab you want to click on is verticals. All right. And these are essentially those tabs, right? The verticals we saw when users search for content. So what we are going to do, so first of all, we can clean it up and we can create our own search vertical. Now, you cannot actually delete any of these other ones, right? Because these are systems, tabs, I guess, all right? Default tabs. You cannot delete them, but you can hide them. So you know what? Let's leave all, just in case, right? And then I'm going to hide all of those other ones. You just, click on this existing ones, click Edit button, and you click the Edit option. And yeah, there's no delete option, but you can disable it, you see. And you update vertical. All right, click done, and you see it's disabled. All right, so it's not going to appear when people search for content. Okay, so I didn't want to waste your time. So behind the scenes, I kind of disabled all of this other ones. All right, so they're all hidden. The only one we still want to display is all just in case. All right, but let's now proceed and create our own custom search vertical. I'm going to click add, and you give it a name, whatever that name of the tab will be. I'm going to, call it just like that, KB articles, knowledge base articles. Click next. And this is where you choose the source. You can obviously choose SharePoint, or you can connect and actually search other sources. This is, of course, a bit more advanced, but let's not worry about it. We're obviously searching SharePoint. And this is the most important piece. Even though it says optional, this is the most important piece. This is where you specify, essentially what will be the filtered results. Now, unfortunately, there is no way to just say, hey, just show us the pages. You have to use what's called KQL, or keyword query language, and it relies on something called manage properties. Now, I know I'm throwing all this advanced terminology at you. In case if you are confused, don't worry. I have actually plenty of articles right on my blog, and you can check them out in your spare time. So let me actually show you, just so that you know where to go to find additional resources. Yeah, I have plenty of resources on my blog, but just to show you, here we go. what is query language, keyword query language, and how to use it. And essentially, I explain to you, how it works, and I give you example of various, queries you can execute through KQL. All right, so feel free to check it out. And I also have a separate video as well on my essentially YouTube channel. But the what I'm going to type in here, and this is, I believe, is one of the examples on my blog as well. For this KQL query, by the way, it lists you all the different managed properties you can rely on. All right, there's all the managed properties that exist. But for our purpose, I'm going to type in file type managed property. So here is the syntax, just like that. It could be, by the way, all right, if let's say you only want to filter for PDFs or Word documents, right? This would be the what you would type in, all right. But in our case, all the pages. Remember when we create those pages, they have ASPX extension. So that's essentially what I'm going to do here. So I'm telling this search vertical to only display results that are web pages. All right. And you click next. You can add filters in here as well. Filters, let me show you what the filters are. Let me actually, that's a different site over here. Let me just navigate to the site that we created today. Again, if I type in something into this search box, I just want to show you what the filters are. This is the filters, you see. This is the filters. So this is where you have additional kind of filters by whatever file type, modified. But you can also create your custom filters, and that's essentially what this is. Let's not worry about it. All right, you can obviously introduce some additional filters. Once again, they rely on managed properties, but let's not overcomplicate this one. Click next. And in this case, we want to enable it, right? It's disabled by default. You just check all the settings and create a vertical. All right, just like that. You create a vertical. Now, it does take some time, and even though it says the vertical has been added, if I go back to my site now and try to essentially, give it a try, we're not going to see it working just yet. Why? Because it just takes several hours for it to take effect. Instead, what I'm going to do, I actually created another knowledge base site previously. It's actually similar to what we did today, but I created this one some time ago. And let me show you, I actually went in and set up the same search vertical in here. Let me show you what that experience is like. All right, so I type in the word vacation. And look at this. It shows me, of course, right, all the results. And, you see my pages are not even number one result. It shows me some documents and all that. But because I created this search vertical, just like that, you see, it only shows me the pages that match this particular keyword. All right, so because I'm filtering just for those ASPX, pages. And here's proof, right? I click on the page, right? Remember we were filtering, right, with that KQL query for this particular extension. So that's what it is. It's only filtering for those pages. The last tip I want to share with you, we're kind of done, right, with building our site, but the most important step probably is set on the proper security. So let me quickly show you how to do that. You click on the gear icon and site permissions, or you can just click on site access over here. Doesn't matter, same thing, all right? And you're going to see 3 security groups. Visitors, members, owners. Visitors are read-only people, right? So we want everyone probably within our organization to be here. Members are users who will be creating articles, all right, creating content. Members can add, edit, delete content, but they cannot delete a site. only owners can. All right. So here's the use case. You know what? I want Mary and John to help me out with the content. Mary is part of HR, John is part of IT or marketing, and they need to help me create all this content. And then everyone should be a visitor. So let's make it happen. I'm going to add Mary. I'm going to add John, and we assign them proper permission level. Edit, right? Click share. So let's see what just happened. So now Mary and John can help me put together all the articles. And then I want everyone within our organization, let's assume, again, it's the whole company. You can obviously type in the names, but in our case, it's the whole company. Very easy to do. Just type in everyone. Once you start typing everyone, you will get to see this group. It's a default group that exists in SharePoint. It's not something UIT created. It's a group that Microsoft created for us. And essentially, it automatically captures everyone in your organization. So as people come and go, if you hire somebody new tomorrow and they're the internal employee, they will be part of the group. All right. This group does not include external people, so don't worry. All right. Just like that. And we obviously leave it as read, right? We want them to be visitors. And let's see what just happened. Essentially, we're done. All right. Everyone can now access our knowledge base. It's all searchable, and they can only read and download. And essentially, obviously members can add, edit, delete content as necessary. All right. Before I end this video, just wanted to mention that if you need any assistance with SharePoint, whether it's a few hours of consulting or configuration of some sort or training, I will be happy to help. Feel free to go to my website, sharepointmaven.com. First of all, I have plenty of resources. I have a pretty detailed blog that I manage on a regular basis with some deep dive and pretty detailed instructions. As a matter of fact, one of my recent articles was the topic that we covered today. So if you prefer to read the instructions, feel free to do so. I also have a podcast as well, so feel free to subscribe to that. But if you do have if you do need any assistance with SharePoint, I provide various services. If you need a few hours of consulting, Q&A type of sessions, I offer that. If you need assistance with intranet, all right, if you need assistance with internet portals, for example, I do offer those and will help you build those if need be. If you need assistance with document management, governance, retention, records management, we'll be happy to help. In addition, I'm pretty big on about training. As a matter of fact, I think training is super important from the user adoption standpoint, and I offer both on-demand as well as live training. So if you have different, groups of users who need different types of training, from beginner to, site owner training, for example, I do offer those as well. So feel free to check it out, and definitely will be happy to help with any SharePoint needs that you might have. But for now, I wanted to thank you for watching this tutorial. Hopefully you found it informative. So hopefully you will be able to follow those instructions and build your own knowledge base. So thank you very much for watching this video and tutorial, and see you soon on my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Goodbye.